from our sister station Jocks FM out in Birmingham, as well as the ESPN and SEC network, is Greg McElroy joining us now on the AAA Heating and Air phone lines. Greg, first of all, appreciate you taking your time. You know you're a busy guy. How are we doing today?
I'm good, boys. Took my kids over to the Braves game yesterday. I don't usually have any cold beer on Sunday, and the fact that I had two, I'm feeling it today. So I'm playing hurt, I'm telling them I'm getting a little older, and it's a little unfortunate to acknowledge your own humanity, because I'm struggling today, boys. I'm struggling. Hope y'all are doing better than me.
You probably had an entire section to yourself at the Braves game yesterday, huh?
There were a few people around us. It was actually pretty funny. We were sitting right behind Clay Travis. So
okay.
There were a bunch of folks. There were a bunch of folks in the stands. Man, a 1:30 game. It was fun to watch. Man, I hadn't taken them all year, so it was fun to get out there. And they start school tomorrow, so good way to finish up the summer.
Yeah, absolutely. Football right around the corner, of course, as I mentioned a moment ago. 20 days from Carolina and VT squaring off in week number 1. When you look at this matchup, what are you looking to see from Carolina in that first game of the season?
I think more than anything else, it's the same thing that I think everybody's kind of curious about. One, all the new faces they have on defense. There was a lot of production lost off last year's team, a lot of leadership lost off last year's team. So I'm real curious to see how they handle Kyron Drones, who at Virginia Tech had a bit of a down year last year, but the talent is there. I mean, the guy's super dynamic, and they have a lot of new pieces as well. So I think it's going to be a game in which both teams are kind of chasing some ghosts. Just because of the personnel and the turnover. So I'm really curious to see how the defensive pieces kind of gel together. And then I'm real curious to see how much the wideouts have improved. I mean, that's really the two things. Like, I feel great about Lenoris and his development. I think the offensive line's going to be just fine. I think they'll be able to pound the ball. I still believe that. I think they're going to be committed to running the football. That's not going to change, even though it's going to be a little bit different workhorse back this year. But the wideouts, I think, are the group that could take this team from where they were last year offensively to a top tier offense in the SEC if it all goes according to plan. So those are kind of the two things that I'm most curious about with the Gamecocks this season.
Hey, Greg, I appreciate you joining us and playing hurt today, man. I saw you you kind of reshared on your Twitter a post you had made back in May just talking about kind of Beamer Ball 2.0 and the next step for this program. Take us through kind of what you want to see from Lenoris Sellers going into year 2 as a starter, being a former quarterback. What do you think are the little sort of just details that will help him become a better overall player this season?
Well, I think he obviously did an amazing job last year, right? I mean, even what my expectations were for him last year, I think he far surpassed just about everything that you could imagine. But you saw over the course of the season the confidence starting to grow. And I think that confidence is now carried over into the offseason. Clearly he has, much like transcendent players, I mean, he's going to make everyone else around him better, which I absolutely love. I think the next step of his development is to play within the confines of the system. You don't want to ever take away his playmaking ability, right? I mean, that's what he does as well as anybody in sport. The playmaking ability stands apart. I mean, he could be one of the best playmakers just in all of college football. But I think doing the little things and operating from the pocket is the next step of his development. Last year, I mean, he was impossible to tackle him. Just watch the Clemson game by itself. I mean, like, guys just bounced off him. They couldn't get him to the ground. It was amazing. But now winning from the pocket and being methodical is kind of the next step. He's still going to have those superhuman attributes. We know that. That's not going away. But if he can kind of carve you up by just standing back there and delivering the ball and not necessarily opening himself up to unnecessary contact, that'd be amazing. Because last year when he got banged up, I mean, South Carolina was a completely different team. And when he was playing a couple games with a bummed ankle, I mean, they changed a little bit. And when he got healthier and got better, things really got going for him as the season went along. So I think just...
Well, I'll have to get Greg back on the line there. He may have hit a off button on us, but...
sounded like a great point he was about to make,
He
though.
was.
We'll let Tyler try to dial back out there. Dang, he was on a roll for a guy who's playing hurt.
Well, I was going to tell him that, his tally, I'm surprised it was that low to watch the Braves. Did they win yesterday, Wes?
You know, man, my fandom has...
Golly, this really bad now.
I am I gotta say, I've not been being a very good Braves fan.
Okay.
It's hard. It's hard to watch right now.
Very hard. Very hard to watch.
When all your pitchers are out, then it's tough to watch, man. It really is. But they did. I'm pretty sure they did win yesterday.
Well, at least you got to see it
over the lowly Marlins.
Of course, it's fun to beat up on those guys. Disrespect intended. No, I mean, it's his point about Sellers, though. I kind of go ahead. It kind of speaks to what we were talking about, in the offseason, though, with Mike Shula, with him taking that next step of his development.
I apologize, Greg. Our phones have been acting up. You were making a good point there. We'll let you continue.
Well, I'm on hold on the other line, so I don't even. So I hope that I'm not talking in two phone lines here, but it's all good.
You're a radio guy. You understand these things happen.
Oh, believe me, yeah. If technology was batting 100,000, we'd all be in a tough spot. But looking at kind of Mike Shula, and you referenced it already, like his knowledge of that position, having played the position, having coached the position in the NFL, and brought along a similar talent, Cam Newton, in the NFL, and developing him, like that's part of the reason why I'm really optimistic about what we're going to see from Lenoris this year. I mean, he just has a great quarterback coach that's going to be with him every step of the way, and he's already developed that rapport with Lenoris last year when he was serving in kind of the analyst role and focusing mostly on Lenoris's fundamentals. So I'm really optimistic about what the offense is going to look like. Like I've said all off season, though, my biggest questions for Carolina really revolves around the defensive side and just having to replace all those incredible leaders and all those incredibly productive players that they've had the last few years.
Greg, you interviewed Shane Beamer, I think, earlier this summer in May, and obviously you've been around. You got a chance to, be around him, kind of watch him build the program. You've been around a lot of, great coaches in the SEC, Nick Saban, obviously, and just want to get your thoughts just generally on, the job Shane Beamer's done and maybe some of the things that he's put into place, whether it's his personality or how he runs his program, that has helped him start to rebuild this South Carolina program. What really stands out about him, his coaching style, and how he runs his program?
Well, for me, the biggest thing with Shane is just the level of authenticity that you get. I mean, he is who he is. Like he really is unapologetically himself, which I always really appreciate. You know what I mean? And we're around a lot of coaches, and sometimes you can tell a guy's being real, and sometimes you can't. Sometimes it's like, I don't know about that guy. You know what I mean? But with Shane, you always know where you stand, and he always knows how he feels about his team. I think that's encouraging. I mean, we called a few of their best moments last year. We called the A&M game. We called the Kentucky game, and it's just he felt like last year they had a really good chance. And talking to him in the off season, he goes, "Man, I tell you what, like our quarterback's a dude. I just don't know if he knows that yet. But we got the pieces on defense. Like we think we got a chance to be really, really good." And while for a lot of folks that went in one ear and out the other in the preseason last year, when Shane says that, he really believes it. And I think he really likes this roster. And talking to him and throughout media days and in the summer leading into media days, I mean, I think he really likes the team. He really likes the culture that they've created. And if he didn't, I think he'd tell us, I think he'd tell you, yeah, you know what? We got work to do here. We really need to clean this up. We need to clean that up. He would tell you flat out, but I just haven't gotten that vibe from him this year. I think he's real optimistic about the culture they've created, some of the building block pieces that they have offensively and defensively, and trying to kind of pick up where they left off last year. And that won't be easy. That'll be really difficult because everyone's now very aware of what South Carolina can do. But I'm pretty excited about what this team might be.
So, Greg, we got about 2 more minutes before we have to break here. Sellers is kind of in a similar spot to you were when you went into your second year as a starter, having most of your same receiving core returned around you. What's the significance of having an entire offseason to work with those guys before playing with the same group for a second year in a row?
It's pretty significant. I mean, there's just so many things in offense nowadays. I mean, back in the day, everything was very black and white, where it's like you run this route, you get open against this coverage, I'm going to win here. Now offenses have evolved to the point where there's a lot of gray area, and a lot of the onus is actually put on receivers open to fill space with RPOs. And look, if RPOs run correctly, it can never be stopped, right? Ever. That's the whole reason why people do it, because it's uncoverable. but you got to make sure you're on the same page with the receivers. And having gone through the gauntlet last year and having seen every look that you can possibly see over the course of 12 games, you're going to be able to, I guess in a roundabout way, complete each other's sentences a little better. You know what I mean? Like when you're sitting there talking with your wife or your significant other, the more time you spend, I know exactly what you're thinking all the time. She knows me all the time. And it's a little like that when you're dealing with quarterback-wide receiver relationship. Like I need to know where those guys are going to be all the time. When Mazeo Bennett runs his corner out, I need to know what angle he's going to break it out at. When Mazeo Bennett's trying to win over the top on a slot fade, like is he anticipating back shoulder or is he anticipating me floating it over the top, letting him run downfield to go and get it? Like those are things that you learn and you work on throughout the off. But having seen real live fire in the past, it's a lot easier to execute it that second year because you've seen that coverage before. You've seen that technique of the defender before, and it's just easier for you as a quarterback to know how your guy's going to react to that look when you've seen it one season already and then another off season of a ton of good, valuable equity reps. So I think it's super helpful. I was a 10 times better player in my second year than I was my first year as a starter. It wasn't even close. Now, we didn't win the national championship my second year. We won it my first year, but I was a much better player in 10 than I was in 9. Right. And I think part of that is because of the amount of confidence I was able to build and releasing the ball before my receivers break and understanding defensive coverage and how we're going to attack it. It was night and day. And I would anticipate a similar growth for Lenoris. And I think he's going to be a much more capable thrower this upcoming season.
Well, Greg, we appreciate your time, and hopefully you're a little healed up tomorrow after your Braves outing yesterday.
If it takes me 2 days to recover from 2 beers, I got major problems, boys. But I think I'll be okay.
Appreciate it. We look forward to seeing you at Willie B this upcoming season.
I look forward to it, guys. Thanks.